Hey, it's Scott from Wayside, and today I'm going to break down the meaning behind all of the songs from our debut album, Variance. So, the first song is called Magic, and with this one, I wanted to start the album off kind of lighthearted and upbeat, and this song definitely does that. It's pretty peppy feeling and happy with both the lyrics and the musical content. Instrumentally, it's very upbeat and major chords, very happy sounding, especially with the choruses. In the verses, I dive into some of the struggles that I've had with the relationship at the time, which was with my then girlfriend, who's now my wife. And in the verses, I talk about thinking, man, she's so incredible. I don't know how I've got her. She's too good for me, and that's my fear, is that she's going to replace me because I just don't know how I could live up to it. And then the pre-choruses and the choruses just reinforce how incredible it was at that time in my life when I honestly didn't have a lot of great stuff going for me. Everything was fine on the outside, but inside I was really sad a lot of the time. But she was the one thing that always was able to make me feel good no matter what was going on. And so this song's really an ode to that, just her and how important she was in my life at the time. So I wanted to dedicate this song to her because of that. The next song is called The Show, and this one delves into um, mostly feeling inadequate and stressing about things that you've failed on in the past or that you've done in the past that you didn't want to and you're not proud of. But it also has a message of hope in that it's not smart and it's not healthy to dwell on those things. And in the chorus, it kind of resolves that by saying, in the end, it's best to kind of just do your best. And even when you do fall short, don't let it weigh you down so much. And that's not to say that you can just go out and do whatever you want and not feel any remorse or have any consequences for it. But when you do mess up and when you do fall short and you do feel like you failed or you're not proud of things that you've done, you don't have to hold on to that forever. And the chorus of the song really just says straight up, learn to let it go, because life is better when you can let go of those things, release the weight, and move on and move forward and just try to be a better person going forward rather than constantly dwelling on the past. So that's what that song is about. The next one, track number 3, is called Go Back. And this one for me really is just all about nostalgia. And for me, when I hear the phrase the good old days, I instantly think of middle school and high school, really, when all that I would do pretty much every day is get home from school and then go play in the neighborhood with my friends, whether it's building forts in the woods or playing a wiffle ball or whatever we did. We always had a great time. And back then, everything seemed simpler. I know people really any age can relate to that, especially when you grow up to be 18, 21, and you're out on your own. You have to get a job, pay bills, pay your taxes. A lot of that can be really stressful. I know for me it was, and a lot of times I find myself wishing I could just go back to those days when I had a lot less on my plate. I mean, I had a school to worry about, but that honestly wasn't too much. And outside of that, I didn't have a care in the world. It was all about just, what do I want to do today? Have a good time with my friends, hang out with my family, and it was much simpler and easier. And I always wish I could just go back to that time. And the bridge on this kind of transitions into that feeling of, I don't know, kind of starting to worry because we only get one go at it. And time moves so quickly that by the time you get to thinking you want to go back, it's already too late. And we're all going to get old one day. We're all eventually going to die. And as sad as that is, the song is really just, I don't know, at the end of the day, I want to encourage people to enjoy the time that they're in because we can't go back to it. But despite that, I'll always have that want to go back to the better days or the good old days, whatever you want to call it. The next song is Sad Songs. And this one is peppy and upbeat instrumentally. Lyric-wise, it does tackle some deeper subject matter. It's kind of my plea to, I imagined a listener who was going through a lot of stuff, maybe feeling inadequate, feeling like they weren't enough, maybe someone who's depressed, even leaning towards suicidal, and maybe feels like it's not worth it to keep going. And this song is my way of saying to them, whoever it is that's listening that needs to hear it, that you're not alone, that I sing the same sad songs. I get that way sometimes too. I've been there, and there's lots of other people that have been there too. And so this song I really just wanted to use as an encouragement to anyone who felt down, that they're going to be fine. We're right there with them going through it all, and I don't want them to feel alone. So at the end of the verses, I reinforce you are loved, you're needed, you're you. And you have purpose, you have value, you have weight. And these are things that I really just wanted to say to someone, whoever it may be, who might hear this song. And if they're in a place where they aren't the best headspace and they're a little down on themselves, they feel down in the dumps, I want this to just be a song that encourages them, that, you know, other people have been there with you right where you are, and they've gotten through it, so you can do it too. And so that's what this one is about. And that's followed up by Hold Your Heart, track number 5 on the album, which is yet another song about my wife now, who was my girlfriend at the time of writing it. This one is my way of promising to her that no matter what she's going through or what she's dealing with, that I'll be there to take care of her. And that's really important to me because she's really important to me. And now that we're married, it's even more important to me. She holds so much weight in my life, and she goes through times much like I do, much like everyone does, where she gets down, she feels bad about herself, she's kind of in a bad place. And this is my way of telling her that whenever she is there, I'm gonna get through it with her. In the second verse, I say, I know that like me, you love a sad song. And it's kind of a callback to the song before, sad songs, but it's also saying that me, and I know she does as well, sometimes you ever get in that mood where, you listen to a song or watch a movie or a video that you know is gonna make you cry, and you don't know why, but for whatever reason, you're just feeling extremely emotional and sad. She gets like that sometimes, and so do I, and I acknowledge that. And this song is saying, let me hold your heart. Let me be the one to take care of you, because to me, you're super precious. And regardless of what you're going through or what difficulties might come our way, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be taking care of you. And this song is really important to me because of that. And it's also her favorite song of the album because it's about her. And it's kind of sweet. So that's Hold Your Heart. The next song, number 6, is called Ghost. And for me, this is the point in the album where it sort of transitions thematically into some more darker, some more serious subject matter. This song in particular, Ghost, I talk about a ghost being at the end of my bed. And of course, it's not a real ghost. It's kind of metaphorical and symbolic of a lot of things. For me, it's my mistakes in my past that haunt me. It's my fears and my doubts. And it's my insecurities. It's a whole bunch of things wrapped into one. And the song is really, for me, just a way to personify and bring into the real world all of those things, to make it like a physical being that I can actually then and go and tackle. And so this song, it's not cheerful, it's not happy, it's kind of bleak, but like I said earlier, where I was in life at that point, for whatever reason, I felt sad all the time, and in my head I had a ton of stuff kind of going against me, and this song was kind of just my way of taking that and putting it into a song, which for me was the best way I knew to kind of deal with those things. And so being able to write about those things, put it into a song, kind of helped me work through them in a way. And if it can help someone else kind of do that, then that'd be really awesome. Following that is All I've Done. This one is fairly similar to the show in subject matter, in that it tackles kind of feeling bad about things that you've done in the past, and feeling as though you're never going to be forgiven for them, like you're always going to be weighed down by them. But the chorus, especially, "You'll never give up on me," that line is really important to me, to reassure myself that no matter what I've done in the past, that I feel like is horrible and, I can't be forgiven for, there's someone out there that will forgive me for that, and I'll be able to move on and be fine, even if it holds heavy into my heart. It's just that promise that no matter what it was that you've done or whatever kind of person you were, you're going to be forgiven, and you can move on, and that doesn't have to stick with you forever. And that's a theme that shows up a couple different times in the album, including on the show, and it comes up later on the last track as well. Paper Thin is track number 8, and it's up next. This one was pretty personal for me, and the verses talk about especially that really for me when I'm making music, it's a very vulnerable thing because it's kind of putting your emotions, putting your life onto a page like for everyone to see. And it's kind of scary to do, especially on these songs where I get into topics that are really personal to me and really, I don't know, almost like if I were having a conversation with someone one-on-one that I didn't really know very well, I wouldn't want to start talking about this stuff. It's kind of embarrassing to bring to light and to share with people. So the song is about being vulnerable and putting that stuff out there, despite the fact that when you do, you can get hurt. And it's in a couple different ways. When I put this music out, man, I get comments, and there's some people that hate it, and that's hurtful, and I take it personally. So that's rough. And it's also putting your emotions and stuff out. It's really difficult to be able to voice that to people, and doing that puts you in a really vulnerable position where people in your life, people who don't even know you, now know these kind of intimate details about your life and your struggles and things, and it's a really vulnerable place to be in. And in the choruses, it kind of illustrates that by being a javelin in the chest, and my skin's paper thin because I put myself out there, and I just make myself willing and accepting of whatever comes my way. And what does, the judgment, the people voicing their opinions on things, it's fair for people to do that, but it really cuts through the skin and cuts deep for me especially. And so this song is really personal and really important to me because of that. Answers comes next, and this is another one that's hugely important to me. It talks about some really deep and really widespread concerns that I have about life as a whole. Not stuff like, what am I going to wear today, or what am I going to do next weekend, but things like, what should I do with my life in terms of a job, in terms of my passion, like who am I as a person? Why do I do these things I do even though I don't want to do them? Like telling my friends that I can't hang out, but then just staying inside and being alone and sad. It's these existential almost questions about life that I don't have the answers to. And I keep looking around and I'm trying to find out why I am the way I am, and what's the point of life, and what's the meaning of all this, and why do we do these things that we do. And this song is just about that struggle of trying to find the answers to questions that you probably won't ever get the answers to. And it's really tough, and the song is slightly upbeat, but it tackles a really heavy subject matter. And this one's really, really special to me, and one that holds a really big place in my heart. After that is Take 'Em Down. And this one is, again, kind of bleak in tone and kind of in subject matter. It talks about, again, struggling with my own personal demons, kind of as Ghost did. And in this song, it's personified as me having purple eyes, and those fears, those doubts, those insecurities, they're the yellow eyes. And in the verses, I talk the yellow eyes surrounding me because there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot that stresses me, that makes me anxious, that gets me sad. And it's really tough to, get control over those things and tackle them. And in the first 2 verses, I try, but my downfall is that I try to do it alone. In the 3rd verse, finally, I leave my house and I go to a place. And to me, I always pictured that as going to like a music venue and playing a concert and just looking out into the crowd and knowing that those people that were there, that listen to my music, they are kind of the same as I am, in that they have those demons, they have those insecurities and the doubts, and they're dealing with them too. And without them, I can't take it down. But when I'm surrounded by other people that are going through it, that's when you can finally find the strength to take it down. And that's when we go into kind of like the instrumental break that happens like 3/4 of the way through the song. And then it finishes up with the last verse where, again, there's yellow eyes all around me, but this time I say, I know you're right there by my side. And in this case, it's talking about my wife, because throughout all of my difficult times and my struggles, she's been the one person that's been there more than anyone. And whenever she's been there to help me, it's incredible how much of a difference that can make. When I'm sad, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling insecure or anxious. When you're alone and in that position, it's terrible. But when you have someone by your side going through it with you, it makes all the difference in the world. And then that's followed up by the last song on the album, The End. And this one is probably the most important song on the album to me. I wanted to end the album off with it because it's the most important for me, and I would say for the listeners. I wanted it to be, at least. And this one, it talks about similar things as sad songs in terms of theme. It's talking about someone who's going through a really tough time. They're struggling in life, they're feeling down, they feel like they have nowhere left to go, they have no one there to help them, there's no hope for them. And this song is really my way to just encourage them that they can keep going, that it's not the end, they're not alone, I'm there with them, other people are there with them, they can do it. Even if they feel like there's no hope, they can start again. They can keep going. They can start over. They can have a fresh beginning. They can still keep going. And this song is just the encouragement that I hope that someone out there will need. And when I listen to it, it's really uplifting. And when I wrote it, it was as well, because I was going through some stuff, and this song really helped me, reassure myself that I wasn't alone. And I hope that there's someone out there that listens to this that needs to hear that message, and they do, and they hear it loud and clear, and that this helps them kind of turn that corner and go to a much brighter and happier place, contrasted with where they were when they were down and low. And so this song, to me, is really just the huge finish to kind of the theme of the whole album. That's we're all going through stuff, and we're all going to get through it, and the easiest way to do that is together with someone by your side. And this song brings that all kind of to a nice wrapped package at the end, like bang, you're not alone, this isn't the end, you can start again. And so that's all the songs on the album. They're all, I feel like I've said it a million times, but they're all really important to me. And the album's been out 4 years. That's crazy to me, and it's crazy to me how many people have reached out and said that they've listened to it, that they've liked it, and that I've had a lot of people as well saying that it's touched them and it's helped them through some tough times. And to me, that's the most important thing about making music and about this album. That's exactly what I wanted it to do, and so to hear that from you has just been incredible. So thank you all so much for listening and supporting us over the last 4 years and supporting this album. It means so much to me. It means the world. Thank you so much.